Hey comrades, Dr. Poplove here, and actually getting a 100% match rating in File Pro Wrestling is not that difficult, but there are a lot of factors to consider. The first thing you must remember is that if you want to get a 100% match, it means that you might not necessarily win. Putting on a fantastic show is not the same thing as being the best at the video game. But anyway, the number one thing that every 100% match has to have in Fire Pro Wrestling is back and forth action. You have to think of the match as a wrestling booker or as a movie director. You have to think about what the fans want to see. They want to see exciting action. They want to see drama, suspense. They want to see something thrilling. It's not about you just being the best at inputs. So if you find yourself dominating a match, if you find yourself having lots of time to breathe, lots of good stamina, lots of HP, don't be afraid of letting the enemy get back into the match, because that will create awesome, exciting scenarios. And imagine if you hit your finisher, you go for the pin, they kick out, and then they attack you, and then they hit their finisher and you kick out of their pin. That's fucking exciting, man. You know, false finishes are one of the easiest ways to pop a crowd in real life. With that being said though, you really have to be in control of the match, even if to the fans it doesn't seem that way. So you really need to manage your stamina, you need to breathe a lot every time you get the chance, and you need to not let the opponent dominate too much. You want to create some hope, but you don't want to turn the momentum completely against you. By the way, I mentioned false finishes, and that actually leads into my second tip. You want to force 2.9 kickouts, and you want to force dramatic rope breaks. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I was playing a Seth Rollins against AJ Styles, and it was 8 minutes into the match, and I managed to land my finisher. I landed the pedigree, you know, Seth Rollins' older finisher, but I knew I wasn't going to win with that much damage. However, I still went for the pin, and of course AJ kicked out at 2.9, which is very exciting. But in my mind, I knew, okay, 8 minutes into it, I haven't really done enough damage, AJ Styles is a tough opponent, this isn't going to win, but I need to pop that crowd. In fact, I'm not 100% sure, but it's possible that the crowd could give you an audio cue just like the foot stomping when locking up. I'm not sure if the crowd pops more as you're having a better match, or if it's just programmed to pop for really awesome moves and sequences. And as for rope breaks, they're a little bit harder to force, but if you pin somebody near the ropes and they don't have the stamina to kick out, they might put their foot on the ropes, and it's very exciting last second rope breaks. Now if you're watching this and you're not sure that you can really dominate an opponent and make it look like you're not dominating even though you're really dominating, be sure to check out my beginner tips. They will be linked at the end of this video, and it'll just help you get those lockups right. Even if you give up lockups on purpose, as long as you know how to do them, you'll be in control. Anyway, my next tip for a 100% match rating in Fire Pro Wrestling is to get some blood going, and of course, this can be tricky. If you do a lot of strikes or strike-based moves, you have a higher chance of causing bleeding, and different characters react to this differently. Depends how the character is built, of course, because there is a bunch of calculations in the background, and of course it goes without saying, you can use weapons to cause blood. Now let me be very clear, bleeding is not required for a 100% match, it's not necessary, however it does make your life easier. Moving on, my next tip is that you need some high spots, some outside the ring action, and of course, your signature and finisher moves. Do not be afraid of going to the top rope. Even if you miss your moves, it'll be very exciting and give your opponent a chance to get back into the match. And don't be afraid of doing some action outside of the ring, because this can be very exciting. One little heel trick that I like to do is throw opponents out of the ring, do a suplex or something, and then do a submission hold on them as the timer keeps going up, because the referee will not disqualify you for that. So you do some damage, you act like a heel, it's all good fun. And of course, never forget to hit your signatures and finishers, because it's so exciting. I was Nakamura and I hit 3 Kinshasas in a row on AJ Styles. First one, he was like a 2.5 kickout, second one a 2.9 kickout, third one in a row, knocked him the fuck out, the bell rang, the crowd went wild, and boom, 100% match rating. I'm not sure, but it's possible the critical hits and KOs lead to a better match rating, but I don't know for sure. Okay, now let's move on and talk about the length of a match. Well, most people would say you need a longer match to be 100%, but that's not quite true. I've been able to get 100% with just an 8-minute match with 6 seconds, and I've gotten 95+% ratings in 7-minute matches, so that goes to show that the timing thing is not true. However, if you're going to do a short match, it needs to be the greatest fucking thing of all time. No breathing room, it just needs to be balls to the wall with absolutely no downtime. And that's why it's easier with a longer match. So although it is not a hard and fast rule that you need a 25-minute or 50-minute epic in order to get 100% in Fire Pro Wrestling World, it is easier with a longer match and you have to be on point if you're going to do a shorter match. Now there's a couple of things that might not be important to the 100% match rating. I'm unable to verify this, so maybe you guys can help me out in the comments and do some testing. I have not noticed any running based moves making a difference, so let's say you bounce off the ropes and you do a sling blade or a clothesline, that sort of thing. I haven't noticed that being a big deal, and I haven't noticed strong style face-offs influencing the match rating. I've had matches where I've had like 5 or 6 of them, and I've had matches where I've only had 1. So that part of it is unclear, but variety never really hurts. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, this match you're showing us is not actually 100%, what the fuck, man? And yeah, you're totally right, but I think it's easier to learn from mistakes than to just copy and paste the same thing over and over again. So with this match you can see that it's pretty improvised. I'm just going kind of like, let's try to get at 100% by nailing these points on a checklist, but you can't really do that. I screwed up in the end because I didn't intend to win with the Falcon Arrow. Instead, what I should have done here is given AJ Styles more momentum in this match and then come back and then hit my finishes and then pin him. So I rushed my ending there, and it's an unsatisfying conclusion because AJ Styles fans will just be like, oh man, he was just getting back into the match, what the fuck? I should have drawn it out for a couple more minutes. It's small things like that that make the difference between 98% and 100%, and of course, maybe if I was bleeding it would have helped me to 100% anyway. And keep in mind, I could be mistaken here, but I don't think AJ hit a single Styles Clash this match, and I didn't kick out of any of his signature spots, so yeah, you kinda gotta balance it out a bit more. Now if you've been watching this and you've stuck to the end and you're like, oh man, this doesn't sound like fun at all, what the fuck, man? Well, dude, don't worry about it. That's the beauty of Fire Pro. It's such a free-form wrestling game that you can have fun with it however you want to. Ratings are opinions, and opinions based on an AI algorithm is even more silly. So if you don't want to care about the 100% rating, you don't have to. Just have fun with the game how you like to. Anyway, comrades, I hope this video has been helpful. If you like this content and you want to see more of my Fire Pro videos, be sure to subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter. It's also at talktopoplove. I'm already working on the next Fire Pro video. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so stay beautiful and have a nice day.